Thanks, Janice. You don't want to be a PR guy, do you, as well? Would you touch it? I mean, but actually, is it a poison chalice?
Well, you say that. You just said it's valued at $40 billion.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that started only really in 2010, only grew globally since 2012. This has gone from very small acorns to this ginormous oak with only a matter of years. So is it something that's worth the punt on? I think it probably is. And in fact, Google and Goldman Sachs have both contributed to up to $6 billion in total for the pot, which is seeing further and further investment in this incredible app.
It seems to, I'm not a PR guy, but I mean, I would have thought that, you know, what you do is you stop saying silly things which you can't substantiate. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? But also, what you have to do is to sort of is do like a business-to-business exercise. In other words, you've got to say to the established interests, hey, why don't you come in and join with us?
Well, that's what they seem to have tried to do with the UN Women. Yeah, it seems to have backfired. And what was announced at the beginning of this recent two-week conference by Uber was that this collaboration would see up to 1 million jobs created by 2020, empowerment for women across the globe. And yet, unfortunately, labour unions have hit back saying, well, these aren't firm jobs. These are uncertain, they're potentially unfair. And even now in America, a lot of the guys that are driving, and girls, are saying, well, this is all our responsibility. We're contractors, we're not employees. We want more. We don't feel protected, we don't feel secure. And actually, if you hit somebody, it's not Uber that's to blame, it's you as the individual.
Okay. Does it need PR? I mean, and I answer that, well, I answer the question seriously, because if people are choosing it, what's the point? If they're choosing it, they're choosing it.
Quite right, but they are choosing a service which in some countries is now banned. The drivers are risking up to, I think, €10,000 fines in Holland for even being caught using the Uber Pop, or this sort of car sharing service. It does need some PR, and it needs PR as much to get people on board driving the cars as it does to get people using them.
What would you do?
What would I do? I don't use a service.
No, but in terms of the PR.
Oh, in terms of the PR?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I think I'd be starting as they have done with the spinners, but they also need to get lobbyists in. They need to start talking to the governments. They need to get government backing. They need to talk to the corporates. And they need to work somehow with the established taxi firms who are struggling themselves.
Well, that was my point. I mean, that's what I would do. You know, I'd be talking to the taxi firms and let people know we're talking to the taxi firms. That's how you do it, isn't it? Generate stories about that, and Bob's your uncle.
But the broader it gets, the less competition there is, and someday we're going to be stuck with nobody else to use.